There are certain species which can be born without male intervention. And the best example is the male bee. The male bee is the egg which has not been fertilized by a male. The queen bee which lays eggs, which doesn't get fertilized by the male, they are born as male. The female bee is the eggs which are fertilized by the male. So there are several animals today in this world who are born without fertilization. I do know that this thing takes place in low animals. There's no proof in higher animals. Who does it? Science cannot tell us. Allah's mother does it. So when Allah can make this possible to happen in Isa alayhi salam, where it is described in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 45 to 47, it says, قالت الملائكة يا مريم إن الله يبشرك بكلمة اسمه المسيح عيسى ابن مريم وجيها في الدنيا والآخرة من المقربين. That behold, the angel said to Mary, we give you glad tidings of a word from him. His name shall be Christ, son of Mary, who will be held in honor in this world and in the hereafter. And he will be among the companies of those most righteous. Those most righteous. So the verse continues that he will speak to the people in childhood and in maturity, and will be among the people those who are righteous. So Mary, peace be upon her, asks, how shall I have a son when no man has touched me? The answer is given, فَإِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. When Allah decreed the matter, He just said to it, be, and it is. I have given you a scientific explanation. When Allah can make it possible in a male bee, it's very much easy for Allah to make it possible even in this, in Isa alayhi salam. For him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to create a Jesus, peace be upon him, إِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. When he decreed the matter, he just said to it, be, and it is. For him to create 1 million people like that, it's just easy. It's a miracle. I'm not telling you Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, was born like that, like the male bee. I don't know. I have given you a scientific explanation. When it's possible there, why can't Allah make it in the higher animals, the human beings? I hope that answers the question.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Zakir. My name is Sania. I'm a revered Muslim. The question is, in your lecture, you mentioned the scientific facts from the Quran which have been established. Can you mention a few Quranic verses which science has not confirmed?
The sister posed the question that I've mentioned in my talk, the scientific facts which science has already established. It's mentioned in the Holy Quran. Can I mention some few points in the Quran which science has not established? For example, the Quran says in Surah Shura, chapter 42, verse number 29, it says, it is Allah who has created the heavens and the earth and put creatures, living creatures throughout them. Quran says there is life beside this earth. Allah has put living creatures throughout the heavens and the earth. There is no scientific evidence, established scientific evidence, that there is life beside this earth. Recently, they have been sending rockets and spaceships to different planets, different satellites, etc. And now just a couple of months earlier, we read in the newspapers that they got certain material from Mars, which gives proof that life can be there in Mars. And in, I think, day before yesterday's paper, I read in Times of India, that they have found water in the moon. Maybe a comet crashed, and there's a big crater, and the water has been frozen to ice. So in future, it will be easier to do investigations. We do not have to take waters from planet Earth to moon. Water is already present there. We can use that water and it will save us a lot of trouble. Science is saying there are high possibilities of life being there besides Earth. But since Quran says, I believe in it. Maybe after 1 or 2 years, they may discover there's life besides this Earth, or maybe after 50 years. Today scientists, they have given various views. How will our earth end? Some scientists have given a description that the mountains will fall down. Some scientists say the mountains and rocks will become smooth when the earth is destroyed. Some people say the ocean will swell up. Some people say the universe will go in a black hole. Several. Quran too gives a description about the day of judgment. How will our creation end? Many of them match with the theories of science. Theories, not established facts. For example, the Quran says in Surah Ahqaf, chapter 46, verse number 3, it is Allah who has created the heavens and the earth for a limited period of time. And Allah will surely give you indication that this creation will be destroyed. And gives various signs in the Quran. For example, if you read Surah Qiyamah, chapter 75, verse number 8 and 9, it says that the moon will be buried in darkness. The sun and the moon will join together before our world ends. If you read Surah Takwir, chapter 81, verse number 1, 2, 3 and verse number 6, it says that the sun will be folded up. The stars will fall down. The ocean will swell up. The mountain will fall down in utter ruin. Quran says in Surah Infitar, chapter 82, verse number 1, 2 and 3, it says the sky will be cleft asunder. The star will be scattered. The mountain will fall down. Various signs how will the earth end is given. These are scientific points mentioned in the Quran which science hasn't established yet. For example, the Holy Quran also says in Surah Anbiya, chapter 21, verse number 104, that as we created this creation, we will roll up the heavens like a scroll is rolled up. And as we created the early creation, we shall create a new creation. So Quran says there is one more new creation that is going to be created after the world is destroyed. Science doesn't know about that. Quran says the first man on the earth was Adam alayhi salam. Science hasn't discovered that yet. Quran speaks about soul. Science hasn't established that human beings have got soul. The Holy Quran also speaks about jinns, about spirits, about angels. Science hasn't been able to discover that. Quran speaks about life after death. Science hasn't discovered that. Quran speaks about heaven and hell. Science hasn't discovered about that. But you may ask me the question, Mr. Zakir, you have given such a good lecture speaking about scientific facts, and you believe in jinns, you believe in angels, you believe in soul, you believe in life after death. Aren't you illogical? I will say no, I am not illogical. I have got a logic why I believe. I don't blindly believe in life after death, in the soul, in heaven and hell, in jinns and spirits. I have a logical belief. I base my logical belief saying that suppose there are scientific facts mentioned in the Holy Quran, out of which, say approximately, 80% have been proved to be 100% correct. 80% of the scientific facts mentioned in the Quran have been proved by science till today to be 100% correct. The remaining 20% is ambiguous, unknown. Not even 0.001% have been proved false. Even if one verse is proved false, the Quran is not the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these 20% I say goes in the ambiguous slot, unknown. So my logic says when 80% is 100% correct, the remaining 20% is ambiguous, out of which not even 0.001% has been proved wrong. All are unknown. My logic says when 80% is correct, even those 20% will be inshallah correct. It's not a blind belief, it's a logical belief.
I would like to just make an observation. We have had throughout most of the questioners who have been our Muslim brothers and sisters. What I would suggest is one questioner, the one who's at the mic here, the one at the mic here, and the next one who's at the mic there, after giving them an opportunity, we would rather give an opportunity to non-Muslims to ask questions, and it would be a more interesting session. What I would like to assure the non-Muslims that though you see a huge crowd of thousands of people here, many of them Muslims, I would assure you we have a very sensible crowd and our volunteers are very trained to be on your side, to protect you, to defend you. There is no, you can rest assured there is no such thing as someone will come up and say, how do you talk like this? I assure you, on behalf of the organizers here, you are totally safe to ask any question, even if you consider it very ridiculous. What I've noticed is Muslim brothers and sisters have come up and asked questions who some other non-Muslim or someone might have put them, or they may have read in some scientific book somewhere, and they have put it forward. I hope this observation is appreciated and taken in the right vein. So we'll allow the person who's already on the mics, I'll give them opportunities. Those who are behind them, I would request them, can you kindly appreciate our point of view as organizers and cooperate, though you all have been standing in the queue. If you can cooperate, allow the next question on those mics to any brother or sister who's a non-Muslim, give them a preference after that. It would be very kind of you. Thank you. The next question, please.
My name is Mohammad Sadat. I am a chemical engineer in Hindustan Petroleum. In Quran it is mentioned that it is Allah who decides the characteristics and the personality of a person inside his or her mother's womb. In the field of genetics, this field has advanced so much that nowadays parents can tailor-make their children. If they want to have a very bright student, they can have it by just having that genetic code changed. Now, isn't this contradictory with Quran?
The brother posed the question that today genetics field has advanced and it's possible that we can change the genetics of the child that is going to be born. Quran says that Allah is one who shapes, who forms, and I do agree with that. Quran says in several places. So does it not mean it's contradicting the Quran? No, brother, it is not. When it gives the statement, Quran says, without the power of Allah, it is not possible. Without the power of Allah, it is not possible at all. For example, I'll give you an example. Quran says in Surah Rahman, chapter 55, verse number 33, that with power and skill, you will be able to penetrate the heavens and the earth. Not without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, you will penetrate the heavens and the earth, but only with permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So today, because people are going in the heaven, that does not mean the Quran is wrong. Quran says you can do, but with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Without permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's predicting that people will go in outer space, in moon, etc. But if Allah doesn't want, it cannot happen. And you know the incident of Challenger. The Challenger tried to take off, what happened? He tried to challenge Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What happened? Nothing. Even today, we say family planning. Do you know, there's no family planning which is perfect. Even if you do tubectomy or vasectomy, if Allah wants, He can yet bring easy conception to that lady. Even if she practices permanent method, like tubectomy, or the husband does vasectomy, still there are chances, but negligible chances, that the baby can be born. If Allah wishes, no one can stop. You do any family planning method, in genetics also. If they are able to change, it's with Allah's permission. If Allah doesn't want, you cannot change at all. So few people are successful, all aren't successful. Those who are successful are with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who are not, Allah has not given them permission. Same way, family planning, those who are successful, Allah gives permission. Those who are not successful, Allah doesn't give permission. Hope that answers the question.
Assalamu alaikum, Zakir bhai. I was a Hindu first and I converted into Islam recently. What I would like to ask you a question is this, that in Islam and in the Hadith it is written that the Kana Dajjal is going to come very frequently, very soon. But the main problem is that on this subject,
we will not